What's up? It's your boy CEO Pullover Ray back at it again. Today we got a little collab chest workout, so we doing a little bodybuilding chest and back today. I got my boy Ray with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Hey, what's up, y'all boys, man? It's boy Ray, man. I'm here to get that work in with my boy, man. We're gonna get swole today, work on straight chest and some lower back workout, but stay tuned though.
Alright, y'all, catch you later. And I'm out.
Alright, y'all, don't give me too much on the intro. I know it's a pretty trash intro, you know, our heads are cut off halfway through. But man, it was a trying day that day. We were just trying to get in the gym. We had been sent home about twice. You know, they told us, hey, you can't record in here. Had people outside kept coming up to us, talking to us, or, you know, just outside, whatever. A lot of things were kind of throwing off the vibe. We were really trying to get in there. We were trying to get in there and not get caught with this equipment, to be real. So, just a little chest back raw video. And we're going to kind of go through what a, you know, chest day, a back day kind of looks like for me right now. And I got my boy Ray with me. Ray went to FSU, as you can tell, FSU football. You know, he played football out there. Cool guy, man. We linked up when we were in high school together. I see him in the gym all the time. So I say, hey, man, you got to come work out with me one time. And we all pretty much getting back to the gym now because of the whole COVID situation. The gyms have been closed. None of us are at our strongest. You know, so right here you can see we doing a little warm up on the bench, starting out with flat bench. Warm up, we're doing 2 sets of warm ups. Basically between 20 and 30 reps. We're just trying to get the blood flowing to the chest. Get ourselves prepped for this hard work because we're finna start on 6 sets on flat bench, right? So if you're gonna go in on 6 sets, you got to be prepared. And the only way to be prepared is for you to get out here and, you know, get warmed up, right? So we got a plate on there doing, you know, between 20 and 30 reps. Afterwards, we're gonna hop off into a regular flat bench. Once we get into the regular flat bench, I'll talk to y'all really about what the goal is when we go into, you know, the rest of our workout and how we working out from there. I'm also give y'all a little bit of that raw footage, you know, with the audio from the gym. I can't play too much of it because of course they got music playing in the background. But I'll give y'all a little bit of some raw advice I gave to Ray. You know, that basically is meant for anybody looking to build something on their body, right? So you want to build a chest, I'll tell you how to build a chest. You want to build a back, I'll tell you how to build a back, right? You want to build your thighs, I can tell you how to build thighs. I can tell you how to build things on your body, right? You know, I haven't always looked like this. Grew up skinny guy, small guy. You know, graduated from high school, I was like 125. A couple months later, I was 145. 3-4 months later, I was 145. And I blew up once I started getting into the gym and you know, I was allowed to touch the weights for a long time. You know, people kind of held me back from that. And so now I can really motivate and tell people how it's done and how you can get it done. All right, so as you can see, we on our first working set here of 6. And right now, you know, I'm kind of, you know, talking to Ray through this first set. But I'm finna hop out real quick because I'm about to go into some detail with Ray about what he can do to improve his strength and improve the muscle that he builds on his chest. So check this out.
Hitting them. Oh, you know what? I forgot to tell you. Look, before I hit that shit, I squeeze my chest. Because a lot of times when I bench, I don't feel it in my chest. So I squeeze my chest. That way, like, I know I'm hitting my chest. Because before I start, I activate my chest. You feel me? Hold it for about 10 seconds. Then I get set. And I hit that shit.
Alright, so let me break something down for y'all real quick. You know, what a lot of people who are trying to build something on their body don't understand, people who are trying to do something to their body, they're trying to do something to the muscle on their body. A lot of people don't understand that you need to make sure you're effectively working out the muscle that you're using or you're trying to work out whenever you work out, right? And from, you know, I've been doing this 7 years, so I know a lot about my own body personally. And it took me a long time to come to this conclusion myself. But I always I always would think to myself whenever I would do a chest press, man, I don't feel this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel anything in my chest. You know, sometimes I would get tired and I wouldn't be able to hit the weight anymore, but I would never feel it in my chest. And I would wonder why I couldn't feel it. So over the years, I started, progressing my warm-up sets and taking my warm-up sets a little bit more seriously, because usually my warm-up sets were just same format as my hypertrophy set, my working set, 6 to 10 reps really, because it's lightweight, right? So I'm gonna hit it 10 times and I'm gonna put it down. When I started doing high rep warm-ups, I became aware of something. I feel it in my chest when I hit the weight 20 to 25, 30 times. I feel it, right? I feel a burn in my chest. Why is it that I feel the burn and I feel the effects whenever I do a high rep versus I don't feel anything when I do a hypertrophy set? And that really, to me, boiled down to maybe I'm just not connecting with my muscle the way I should be. And so I started squeezing my chest and holding it before the sets just to make sure I'm activating my chest. And I noticed once I started activating my chest before sets, not only would my sets become harder, but I also gained more. I felt it the entire chest workout. I felt it in my chest. I wasn't feeling it anywhere but in my chest, right? So one thing, you want to make sure you have control of the weight. Don't just be tossing it. You got to control the weight, and when you control the weight, you got to make sure that you're using those muscles effectively, right? You got to make sure you're activating those muscles, because chest and triceps work when you hit a bench press. If your chest isn't doing majority of the work, your triceps are doing majority of the work, right? If you're using your body, if you're using momentum, right? If you're letting the weight drop down real quick, bounce off your chest, and then you're slinging it back up, if you're using momentum, your chest isn't doing a whole lot of work. So you got to pay attention and be careful about how you work out if you really want to see real success and you really want to achieve those goals. You want to make those muscles grow. All right, so for the sake of not making an hour-long video, we're going to jump off into our next workout, which was pull-ups. Now, we did 8 sets of pull-ups, which was 2 warm-up sets, and then we did 6 working sets of weighted pull-ups. Now, in the middle of doing weighted pull-ups, we kind of realized maybe a race shouldn't be doing weighted pull-ups. And, this is no knock on his strength, because listen, man, Array weighed as much as I did when I was doing weighted pull-ups, so he's pulling the same kind of weight I am. The difference is that you want to do things with correct form, right? And you want to be able to get the most range of motion out of your workout. So if the weight is too heavy for you to go all the way up and be able to come all the way down and then go all the way back up, the weight is too heavy, right? It's like when you see guys who will squat and they squat down 1 or 2 inches and then they come back up, that guy's not squatting, right? You see somebody who gets on the bench and they'll lower the weight, they'll bend their arms slightly and then they'll push the weight back up. That's not benching, right? The weight's supposed to come all the way down, go all the way up. Now, if you can take a light weight and bring it all the way down and take it all the way back up, but you cannot take the weight that you're working out at and bring it all the way down and push it all the way back up, the weight is too heavy. You need to lower the weight, right? You're not getting a good workout in. You're not bettering yourself. You're not getting stronger. You're just increasing the chances that one day you're finna injure yourself because you're throwing on all this heavy weight that you can't really control. Now, I know I just told y'all, fellas, check your ego at the door, because it's not normally women doing this. It's always mostly men that are out here and they ego lifting, they tripping, they're trying to lift all this heavy weight. But I'll also tell you, fellas, and this goes for the ladies too, ladies, if you're trying to sculpt that body, you can't get in the gym and lift really light weight that you don't really feel and think that that's going to help you either. That's not how it works either. You need to be lifting weight that you can hit in certain ranges, right? Depending on what your goals are, I hit weight that I can only lift between 6 to 10 times, at least over the cycle of how many sets I'm going to do. If I'm doing 6 sets, by the third set at least, I'm only going to be able to hit this 10 times. Usually it's before that, but by the third set at least, I'm really only going to be able to hit this 10 times, and I might not get all 10, right? That is how you need to be working out. If you're working out with the mentality of, oh, I'm just going to come in here, I don't have to lift super heavy, I just got to come in here and make sure I lift, you're either a beginner or somebody who's been doing this for a long time who hasn't seen any results any which way. You have to challenge yourself. If you get in here and you lift like it's your first time lifting for the rest of your time lifting, you're going to keep a beginner's body, right? You're going to get those beginner gains, and that's all you'll ever get. You have to come in here, lift seriously, challenge yourself. Don't go crazy with the challenge, but challenge yourself. Something reasonable, right? Don't nobody go on a video game. Well, some people do. Some people throw it on the hardest difficulty off rip, right? But a game you've never played before that is hard, they have tutorial levels, right? After the tutorial level, they crank it up a notch. And then when you good at the game, you challenge it on the best difficulty. It's the same thing with your body, right? It's all a game. You start out beginner on the tutorial level. After you move through the beginning stages, you need to be doing something that is challenging but not overwhelming, right? Because a lot of people want to throw the game on the hardest difficulty off rip, and what happens? They get murked. And they get murked again. They get murked again. They don't even know how they're dying, but they're dying, right? And they feel like the game's too hard. No, you decided to jump off on the hardest difficulty. This is a stepwise process. 7 years in the game is what makes me have to do some of this crazy stuff I do. I wouldn't be doing this stuff if I wasn't 7 years into working out, right? If I was 7 months into working out and I was working out with a guy like me, 7 months in, I quit. That's, I before I got certified training, I had to come to grips with some of those things, right? I can't come in here and train people like how I work out because they're not built like me, right? And yeah, I call myself a beast, but these things take time, man. And a lot of people can't flip the kind of switch in their mind that I could flip to help me to do some of the things I do, to put me in the zone to hit some of the weight I hit, right? But I also have more experience than them. So listen, you kind of got to keep yourself in check here. This is a humbling process. I've gotten out here and I've injured myself plenty of times, right? Thank God it was never, an injury that took me out the game. It was never something serious. But I've injured myself plenty of times, and I've kept my ego in check for the most part when it comes to working out. So I'm telling you, fellas, the gym is you versus you. It's not you versus the next man. Don't worry about what the next man is doing. Stay in your lane. Because you might think, oh, I look soft because he's lifting all this weight and I'm only over here hitting this. It's not about that, man. I've never once, I looked at other guys that were hitting weight I could never hit in my mind. I just looked at fascination like, dang, bro, he really hitting that. And then I continue my workout, right? My workout is designed for me. My workout is not designed for everybody. Everybody can't do what I can do. So, fellas, you really got to check yourself when you want to go in the gym and become something, right? Because not checking yourself leads you to either going too soft and never making it anywhere and looking at other people like, man, you got great genetics. That's the only reason you can do it. Which is a lie. Because everyone can get to a certain level. Not everyone is going to be no elite athlete, but everybody can be athletic. They just got to spend time trying to be athletic, right? Or it'll lead you on the opposite path where you going nuts in the gym and you trying all this stuff that you really not ready for and you really not built for, and you haven't spent the time to get to that level, and then next thing you know, you hurt, right? And a lot of times when those injuries come, They're not small injuries. They're serious, I need surgery injuries, right? And then you really took out the game and you don't go anywhere with it, right? So check yourself, man. Be humble, be smart, but at the same time, you got to get it in, right? You got to get it in like you want to improve. Just don't get it in recklessly. All right, so now that we done being serious for a second, if y'all really want to laugh, I need y'all to look at my face at the end of this set. Now, see, this is what complete exhaustion look like on a man, all right? You see this? I'm not moving that weight. I mean, I am, but I'm really not. Now, I do got to keep it real for y'all once again. Listen, fellas, I went off on a tangent about y'all, about staying in your lane and checking your ego at the door. And I really went off on a tangent, fellas, because I know it's y'all. You know, this is not a video that I watched on YouTube, Facebook, or whatever showing gym fails. I've lived this life, man, for 7 years. And in those 7 years, long before I ever thought about being a personal trainer or training anybody, I've had friends that wanted to come in the gym and work out with me because of the way my body looked. And they compare their body to mine and they say, I want to look like that. So they want to come in the gym with me. Now, here's the thing. They didn't come to the gym to be someone I trained. They came to the gym to imitate what I was doing to get like how I was, right? And a lot of times what I would do is I wouldn't tell them to not work out to the full extent I was. I would tell them, hey, listen, you can tap out at any time, right? So once you get tired of working out, you can leave. I'm going to finish up. They would never tap out, right? And then they would get burnt out. Or, you know, they would get burnt out later. So they tell me later, oh man, I stopped coming to the gym because I couldn't keep up. You know, and I was just, my body was too sore and I was too tired afterwards and I couldn't keep up. Or worse than that, I had a lot of people that would come to the gym with me and I would notice that they shouldn't be hitting the weight they're hitting, right? But they're trying to compare themselves to me in some way. And so even though they're a beginner and they know that not only do they not look like me, they haven't been doing this as long as me, they're still trying to keep up with somebody they aren't, right? And what ends up happening is they end up getting injured. I've had a lot of friends personally that have come in the gym with me and gotten injured. And it wasn't like I encouraged them to hit the weight they were doing. A lot of times I would tell them, hey man, that look like too much weight. And they would tell me, no man, you know, I got it. You know, I feel like a lot of times I would have to force them to take the weight down because I know they shouldn't be hitting it. Well, 9 times out of 10, it was too late when I forced them to take the weight down, or, you know, I couldn't force them to sit out on a set, so they would just continue to work out, right? Even though after that set where I told them, hey, you need to stop and let me just finish up and then we'll keep going, they've already injured themselves, but they refuse to not finish, or they refuse to lower the weight. Right? Those are two dangerous combinations, man. It's real easy to get injured out here, especially when you're new. Everything is not beginner level, you know, and through the years, I've always warned people, hey, this is not for beginners, but they want to dabble in it, you know, because they're with me. And a lot of times, once they get from around me, they're going to keep dabbling in it, right? They just hope I don't find out that they dabbling in something that I told them is too much for them. See, guys, this thing's serious, man. You see how I'm explaining right now some things to my boy Ray? He listening. He's soaking it up. He's taking it in. That's how you improve, man. You can't... Everyone needs some guidance, especially when you're not really in tune with your body and you kinda in a rush, you definitely need guidance, right? Everyone needs guidance in the area from somebody more experienced than them. Always. I don't think I'm the most knowledgeable guy in fitness, you know, and a lot of times that's what holds me back, because I feel like, hey man, there's plenty of people that know way more than me about fitness. Does that mean I know nothing about fitness? Hell no. I just know how much I don't know because I spend a lot of time on fitness, right? There's a lot of people out here that are trainers, you know, and this ain't throwing salt, but it's a lot of people out here who are trainers that don't know anything about fitness, and they just got a good talk game because they're that confident that they know what the hell they're talking about, because they don't know how much stuff they really don't know about fitness, right? But they couldn't fool somebody like me who knows about fitness. They can fool the average Joe Blow who knows nothing about fitness, right? So guys, take a lot of this stuff with a grain of salt. Either do your research or learn from somebody. But even if you do your research, learn. Because the fitness game is something serious. And you want to get out here and succeed. You don't want to injure time in the game early, you know, by doing something stupid. And I'm gone. It's your boy Bopa Black once again. Just finished up the little workout. Ray.
Bro, that workout is what it is, bro. Come get swole with my boy right now, ASAP. Hey, getting right all summer.
Hey, tell him though, this ain't for no beginners.
No, sir.
This ain't for no intermediate.
No, sir.
It's for a beast.
For the bees only.